Tonight, I performed on the stage, sharing my words with the world, but it was what happened off the stage that truly left an impact on me. It was a serendipitous encounter that began with a recipe and ended with a realization. As I recollect the evening, I remember finding a unique and whimsical recipe, one that claimed to detail the creation of black women. It read, 2 scoops of chocolate, a 1-2 stick of almond butter, 2 tablespoons of honey, grated cinnamon, agave nectar, black pepper, and a bunch of onion powder. It was a metaphorical and poetic start to my evening, one that only a writer like me could appreciate. And then, as fate would have it, I stumbled upon a hidden recipe, one that was not written but embodied by the girl I would later come to know. She was a black girl with freckles, and her presence was like a revelation as I was immersed in my poetic musings. She sat in the second row, wearing a black top and tight-fitting jeans. All I could think about was how fortunate that seat cushion must have been to hold her. After I finished my performance, I mustered the courage to share my Instagram handle with the audience, and to my surprise, she followed me. Later that night, I found myself in my hotel room in Hawaii, scrolling through her beach pictures, feeling a profound connection to the sand, yearning to be as close to her as possible. But as I read the captions on her photos, I discovered that her beauty wasn't limited to her physical appearance. She had a deep love for nature and was a nurse, a truly remarkable and caring soul. Her name was a secret I was unwilling to admit. She was the kind of girl I might never be good enough for. I questioned what she could see in me, a poetry guy adorned with tattoos covering my arms, chest, and back. I admit to being a little chubby, or, let's be honest, fat, while she sported a rock-hard six-pack that I could only dream of running my fingers over, writing poems on her skin with my tongue. She was a picture of perfection, whereas my life was hidden behind the lens of a camera that often concealed my struggles with depression. Just 4 days after burying my sister, who tragically left this world on the same day as my best friend, it was as if I was carrying the weight of the world in my verses. She rarely wore makeup, unlike me, who wished I could cover up 99% of my writings, concealing the vulnerable parts of myself. It's not easy to share your deepest fears, every negative aspect of your life, or the emotional neglect I endured from my father, who could never utter the words, "I love you," in our home. I was taken aback when I learned that she used to hate her freckles. To her they were flaws, but to me they were exquisite constellations in the vast night sky of her skin. I couldn't help but think, girl, do you realize how beautiful you are? I bore my own imperfections, with a scar on my right jaw from childhood, spots left by chickenpox, and a stubborn tooth that refused to align itself. I had even worn braces twice in a futile attempt to correct it. If given the chance to love her, I would realign her spine to grant her the strength to conquer her worst fears. In the grand scheme of things, I should be the one labeled as the less attractive one, and maybe that's why I faltered when I saw her outside the venue. I was too frightened to say hi, to express how truly beautiful she was, for I didn't want her to see my own inadequacies. For a moment, I left the stage and returned to being just Junior, the man with confidence, the living and breathing writing god, the one with a sharp sense of style. But in that brief second, I also became Junior from the 3rd grade, the insecure and uncertain boy who lacked the words to tell someone how beautiful they are. I wish I hadn't left without telling her she was beautiful. I regret that I couldn't find the words to express it, not because I didn't mean them, but because I was too afraid to confront her with my own insecurities. So here I am, writing these words in my journal, to her and to myself, confessing my admiration and acknowledging my shortcomings. Sincerely, her biggest fan and dream lover. P.S. I'm sorry I can only marry you in my dreams.